Wholesaling a house is much faster and easier than flipping a house. When you flip a house, you have to first find a good deal, then borrow the money to buy it from a bank or a rehab lender or a private lender. And then once you buy the house, you have to then hire contractors to fix it up. Once it's fixed up, you have to hire a real estate agent to list it for sale. And when it finally sells, hopefully everything went according to plan and you made a profit. All said and done, the process to fix and flip a typical house usually takes 4 to 6 months. And flipping is great if you get good at it and you know how to raise money for deals and you learn how to manage contractors, but it is risky, especially for a beginner. Wholesaling, on the other hand, is easier, faster, and much less risky, making it ideal if you're new to real estate. Just like with flipping, you still have to find a good deal, but instead of borrowing the money to buy it and fix it, instead, you simply find another investor who wants the deal. Typically, this would be another flipper or an investor who wants to keep it as a rental. As long as that investor is willing to pay more for the deal than you have it under contract for with the seller, you can wholesale it. Put simply, wholesaling is when you flip your contract to another investor for a profit. Let me illustrate a typical wholesale deal so it makes sense to you. But first, if you're new here, I'm Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year wholesaling and flipping houses. And here on my YouTube channel, I show you how to do the same. So if you want to be a flipping genius like me and live your dream life, subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. Let's say that I find a great deal that I can get for $250,000. If I fixed it up and flipped it, I could probably sell it for, let's say, $375,000. But instead, I take the deal to a local flipper. Let's say his name is Jim. And Jim agrees to pay $260,000 for the deal because he knows he can fix it up and flip it and still make a good profit. So I flip, or what's called assign, my contract to Jim for $260,000. That means Jim steps in as the new buyer, and on the day of closing, he wires $260,000 plus closing fees to the title company. The title company gives $250,000 to the seller, which was the original agreed upon amount. And as the wholesaler, I get the remaining $10,000 as my assignment or wholesale fee. In that case, since I never actually owned the property, I didn't have to raise the money to buy it. And since I'm not rehabbing the house, I don't have to manage contractors or wait until it sells later to make a profit, which is why wholesaling is faster, easier, and less risky. So now that you have the big picture, let's break down 5 steps to wholesale your first or next house in as little as 30 days. Step 1 is to find a good deal. At any given time, there are property owners who are in distress that need to sell their unwanted properties and are willing to sell them at a steep discount in exchange for an as-is, fast, convenient cash closing. Now, this could be pre-foreclosure, probate, or an inherited property, a tired landlord, and so on. So where do you find these distressed sellers? The best place is using a property data software called PropWire. Now, PropWire has over 157 million distressed seller leads nationwide. You simply choose your market, choose the type of seller lead you want to target, and then download the list. You can even use PropWire to skip trace the list to get the seller's phone numbers so you can call or text them. Now, PropWire has off-market and on-market leads, and it is fast and super easy to use. But best of all, unlike other data providers that charge for leads, PropWire is absolutely free to search and download an unlimited amount of leads. The only thing better than free is, well, nothing is better than free. Just check it out. Go to joinpropwire.com to do your first search. Step 2 to wholesale your first or next house in as little as 30 days is to analyze the deal to determine your maximum allowable offer, or MAO. This is the price you need to get the deal for that will give you enough room to assign it to a cash buyer for a profit, in this case $10,000. In order to figure out the MAO, you have to know how to crunch the numbers. Getting this wrong is a common mistake for new wholesalers who lack experience. So to make this step brain dead easy, I developed an offer calculator tool where it figures out the MAO for you in minutes without comping properties or estimating repairs. And I'll give it to you for free. I'll put the download link in the description below, as well as a tutorial video for how to use it. Step 3 to wholesale your first or next house in as little as 30 days is to make a cash offer to the seller, and if accepted, execute a purchase and sale agreement. This is a written contract that spells out the price, closing date, and other terms of the agreement. Once executed, the seller is committed to the deal and can't sell the property to anyone else. It's what locks up the deal for you as the wholesaler, so you want to make sure you have a contract in place that covers everything you need to wholesale the deal, including the right to assign your contract. Now, I've been updating and improving my seller contract for almost 20 years now, so it's really good. And I'll give it to you for free. Just go to wholesalercontracts.com. Once you have an executed contract with a seller, you'll need to open escrow with a local title company or closing attorney, depending on your state. They will run a title search and start preparing for the closing, and it's important your title company has experience doing assignments, so I'll put a nationwide wholesaler-friendly title company that you can use in the description box below. Okay, step 4 to wholesale your first or next house in as little as 30 days is to find a cash buyer to assign your deal to. This could be a flipper or a buy and hold investor. Now, this step intimidates a lot of new wholesalers who don't yet have relationships with local investors that are looking for deals. Don't let that stop you from getting started. I teach a strategy I call the neighborhood flipper technique, which shows you how to find and contact the active flippers in the same neighborhood as your deal. Flippers love to do repeat deals in the same areas where they've previously flipped, so this technique works very well. I'll put the link to that video in the description below that breaks it down step by step on how to do that. But there's an even easier way. I'll be your buyer. I flip houses all over the country, and if you find a deal that meets my criteria, I'll pay you $10,000. If that sounds exciting to you, go to my10kcheck.com to learn more. Once you've found an interested buyer, you'll need to assign your rights to the original contract to that new buyer. Now, this process involves using an assignment agreement that transfers your original contract with the seller to that new buyer. In exchange, you'll receive an assignment fee, which is the difference between the original contract price and the price at which you're assigning the contract. My assignment agreement is also free to download at wholesalercontracts.com. Now, once you have an executed assignment contract with your cash buyer, step 5 is to coordinate the closing. Work closely with the title company or closing attorney to ensure a smooth transaction. The end buyer will provide the funds required to close the deal, including your assignment fee. Once the deal is closed, the title company will disperse the funds. You will receive your wholesale fee, which represents your profit for successfully wholesaling the property. By following these 5 steps and with a little luck, you could find and wholesale a deal in the next 30 days. But the reality is to consistently wholesale houses so that it provides a steady income that will allow you to quit your job, get out of debt, own your own business, create your own hours, live wherever you want, and give you an amazing lifestyle. You will need to be persistent and develop the right skills and mindset. Here are 10 tips to go from your first deal to building a 6 and even 7-figure business wholesaling houses. Tip number 1 is to follow local and state regulations and establish a good reputation. Some states require a real estate license to wholesale or to market a contract for sale. The city of Philadelphia requires you get registered as a wholesaler with the city and follow certain rules. The city of Atlanta passed a law about how you market to sellers. Now, I've covered most of the laws and regulations in wholesale real estate here on my channel, so you can learn more about that. But focus on building a good reputation in the industry as a reliable and trustworthy wholesaler. Honor your commitments, deliver on your promises, and maintain open and transparent communication with all parties involved. Tip number 2 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to continually network. Don't do it alone. Connect with other wholesalers and investors, attend local meetups, join online forums and Facebook groups, and actively participate in those groups with the mindset to give, not take. Get to know who the movers and shakers are in your industry, including agents, contractors, and property managers. Networking will open doors to more deals and bigger opportunities. Tip number 3 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to develop negotiation and sales skills. Wholesaling real estate is more about marketing and sales than it is about real estate. Securing favorable deals with sellers and then selling your contracts to buyers for a profit are critical skills to learn. I recommend you download my seller and cash buyer scripts. I'll give them to you for free, links in the description. Then role play with someone until it feels more natural, but the very best way to get good at sales is to smile and dial. Get on the phones and learn on the job. Repetition is the key. Tip number 4 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to stay organized and track your progress. This is the only way to scale your wholesale business. Scaling allows you to increase your deal volume and potential profits. Invest in a good CRM. I recommend Flipster, which has a workflow so that you can easily stay on track with your leads and deals. It also has deal analyzers, digital contracts, proof of funds letters, and pretty much everything you need to run your wholesale business. You can check it out on a 7-day free trial at joinflipster.com. Tip number 5 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to build a strong cash buyer list. It's true that you don't need a list of cash buyers to get started, but as you do deals and grow your business, continuously build and expand your network of potential buyers who are actively looking for investment properties. A robust cash buyer list increases your chances of quickly selling your contracts and generating bigger profits. Now, I did a video that shows how to build a massive cash buyer list from Facebook investor groups. Following this technique in about an hour a day, you can build a list of thousands of cash buyer investors in no time. I'll put the link to that video in the description below for you. Tip number 6 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to adapt quickly to market changes. Real estate fluctuates up and down, and as a wholesaler, you want to adjust quickly when the market shifts. Stay informed about market trends, shifts in supply and demand, and changes in interest rates and other market conditions. The best way to stay ahead of the curve is to network with your cash buyers, since your entire business is about bringing them good deals. Always ask what their buy criteria is and how they are currently navigating the real estate market. Remember, cash buyers are fast to adapt and sellers are slow to adapt. Being flexible and quick to adjust is how you'll continually do profitable deals. Tip number 7 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to establish a social media presence. Don't be a silent wholesaler. It's not profitable. Leverage social media no matter the size of your following. Showcase your wholesale deals, talk about what you're doing, and share your journey. The way people do business now is they want to know, like, and trust you. Be authentic and transparent. I've learned that if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. People may not agree with you, but they will at least respect you for being real about who you are. Tip number 8 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to stay consistent. Wholesale real estate is a high turnover business because a lot of people come in with high expectations that they'll get rich quick, just to find out that it takes consistent hard work over time to see results. It takes momentum to build a successful wholesale business. Your 10th deal will be 10 times easier than your first deal, and your 100th deal will be 100 times easier than your 10th deal. That's momentum. Develop a positive mindset, set realistic goals, and stay focused on the long-term vision for your business. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who can encourage and inspire you along the way. Tip number 9 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to not be afraid to fail. You will learn more from your mistakes than anything else. Every wholesale deal you undertake provides an opportunity to learn and grow. Reflect on your experiences, analyze what worked well and what could be improved, and apply those lessons to future deals. Continuously evaluate your processes, refine your strategies, and seek feedback from buyers and sellers. Learning from your experiences will help you become a better wholesaler over time. And tip number 10 to build a 6 and even 7-figure wholesale business is to seek mentorship. Learning from experienced wholesalers or real estate investors can significantly accelerate your success. My biggest regret when I first got started was not investing in mentorship. I believe I would have saved or made several $100,000 more if I would have. When I finally did, my business skyrocketed. Look for a mentor who has a proven track record in wholesaling and is willing to share his or her knowledge and insights. Their guidance can help you avoid common pitfalls, provide valuable advice, and offer a different perspective on your business. Now, if you'd like to check out my mentor program, just go to fasttrackwithjerry.com to learn more. One final thought. A traditional wholesale real estate business typically spends thousands of dollars in marketing to produce deals. The problem is most new wholesalers don't have a big marketing budget or any budget at all, which is a huge obstacle when getting started. If that's you, don't give up. There's hope. You can overcome not having money for marketing if you at least have time. So watch this next video where I'll show you my proven 3-step process for getting 5 deals a month with almost no marketing budget. Watch that now and I'll see you on the next video.